Alright, welcome to today's video, guys. Today we're going to be doing a full body dynamic stretching routine. Highlights of this routine is going to be essentially mobilizing the spine and really just getting blood flowing. Beginner movements are going to be the focus, but if you are a little bit more advanced, I will also show some more difficult variations. Alright, so typically I like to start off with child's pose. So we'll come here in tabletop position. Wrists stacked over your shoulders, knees over your hips. We're going to send those hips back towards our heels. We're going to reach down in front of us. Throughout this routine, you really want to focus on breathing. Breathing is going to be the key to these stretches. Alright, we'll come from child's pose. We'll do what's known as cat-cow. Flex that lower back. And we're going to extend through that upper back. Do that a few times. And just remember to breathe. Perfect. Next we're going to do what's called a Cossack squat. So we're going to stand up. And we're going to go feet just outside of your shoulder width. We're going to point those toes out. And essentially what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lean into one side. You don't have to go crazy far, just go until you feel a stretch. And then you're going to reach your hand down and point your other hand up. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And we'll go back and forth. When I first started doing stretching, I had insane lower back pain. And now doing movements like this every single day has brought me a lot of relief. So we're going to get back into tabletop here. And we'll send back into child's pose once again. Hips back into the heels, arms stretching forward as far as possible. We'll take a couple of deep breaths here. Alright, the next stretch we're going to do here is called the world's greatest hamstring stretch. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to start here, and with whatever hand is opposite to the foot that you have on the floor, you're going to reach down, you're going to bring yourself over on the opposite side of your knee, and then we're going to straighten out and come back. We're going to do the same thing. Forward, straighten out, come back. So rocking down, dropping that forearm, coming back into the stretch. Down, drop that forearm, back into the stretch. Ooh, feel that. Make sure you're breathing. And do the other side. Drop the hands, support yourself on the floor, bring that forearm down, back into the hamstring stretch. Forward and down. Really feel that stretch. Alright, next stretch we have is a half kneeling adductor stretch with a T-spine rotation. So we're going to plant our left hand, and we're going to bring our right leg out straight as possible. And from here, we're going to take our hand, put it on our head, we're going to rotate through that thoracic spine. Really incorporate that movement. It's dynamic stretching for a reason. My boss popping all sorts of crazy. These dynamic stretches involving that T-spine rotation are some of my favorite because they really get the blood flowing to the areas around the spine. Alright, next stretch that we have is the pigeon stretch. To do the pigeon stretch, it is a little bit difficult, but we'll ease you into it. We're going to start with supporting our hands out to our sides. We're gonna bring our leg in front of us, and we're gonna feel out how far we can get that leg down. If you're here, if this is all you have, that's okay. As long as you're feeling a sensation, a stretching sensation in the upper portion of your butt cheek, your hip here, you're doing great. But as you progress, you'll be able to bring that leg further up, and you'll really be able to sit down into it. All right, we'll do the other side. And like I said, if you're a beginner, just feel it out. Essentially what you're doing is you're crossing that leg in front of you, you're supporting yourself with your hands, and you're easing that weight down until you start to feel that sensation in that 90-degree leg in the back of your hip. And we'll feel that out. Go as far as you comfortably can without pain. There shouldn't be pain in these stretches. And what you can do is, if you're just starting out and you can't get very far, what you can do is you can do a dynamic pigeon where you move your body weight forward and backward. Stretch into that hip, stretch into that groin, and as it starts to loosen, you'll be able to come lower. Same thing with the other side. Do that dynamic pigeon. Just go on the ball of your foot and shift your weight forward and backward. You'll feel it start to loosen up. All right, next move we're gonna do is a combination. It's frog stretch plus thread the needle. So with frog stretch, you're gonna put your feet on the floor, knees on the floor. You're gonna bring our knees just outside of hip width. And then we're gonna just support ourselves with our hands, and we're gonna sink into that. It's a really good groin stretch, so feel it out. Do what's comfortable. Just make sure you're breathing. Once you find a position that's comfortable, we're gonna thread the needle. We're gonna bring our arm down and lower ourselves. And if you're a beginner, maybe here. That's okay. But if you're advanced, see how low you can go. Get that stretch. Make sure we're breathing. And we'll do the other side. Come back to frog pose. Feel that out, get a couple more stretches there. And back to tabletop position. The next move we're gonna do is gonna be a forward rocking kneeling lunge. So we're gonna start with one foot out, doesn't matter what foot, we're gonna do both sides. Essentially what you're gonna do is you're gonna drop your hips into that lunge. And we'll just rock back and forth. So while you're doing this movement, you should feel a pull on the front side of your left hip, or whichever leg is down. You'll feel the sensation on the front of that hip. Switch sides. Do this a few times. Right on, guys, we're all done today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.